In the hearing aid world, acoustic feedback is just a fact of life. At least we used to think so. We developed OpenSound Optimizer to prove it doesn't have to be that way. If you run into feedback during a fitting, you have to make a compromise. Perhaps it means that the patient just has to deal with feedback from time to time. Or perhaps it means that you can't provide the sort of gain you would like to in the mid to high frequencies. Or perhaps it means you need to provide a more closed fitting than either you or the patient would prefer. If feedback becomes a persistent problem, the patient can become frustrated. And it could even lead to the point where the patient decides just simply not to use the hearing aids anymore at all. OpenSound Optimizer was built on the power of the Velox-S platform. And we leveraged the power and speed of that platform to be able to not be bound by conventional thinking. Traditional approaches to feedback cancellation may be too slow to stop feedback before it becomes audible. But with OpenSound Optimizer, we monitor the signal 56,000 times per second in 28 channels. If it detects that feedback is beginning to build up, it puts a small break in a narrow frequency window to stop feedback before it even has a chance to start. And all of that happens in less than 1/10 of a second. That break pattern will then be repeated as often as necessary until the threat of feedback has passed. And that break is so subtle that the brain may not notice. And what is the effect? Well, the effect is up to 6 dB more usable gain. And with 6 dB more gain to work with, that means you have to make less compromises. The patient can go throughout the course of the day confident that they're not going to have to deal with feedback. We developed OpenSound Optimizer to approach the feedback problem using a new way of thinking, to better protect the hard work that you put in to create a good fitting for your patients.